we're going to be doing something like this. You can see it's a split shank where, you know, the prongs and the actual shank are created by that sweep that comes up right here. It has a trellis front, kind of over under, you know, and this one right off the bat seems super complex, right? It's like, how are you going to do this? But it's really quite simple once you kind of think about it. So let me move this up here so I have room. There we go. Okay, so let me bring him back real quick. The first thing you can notice is it's a cathedral, right? So that's what we're going to use to create this. So let's start with our cathedral ring rail right here. If I bring this back, so you can see it starts to, let me get my cool draw tool. It starts right here, which is pretty far up. Okay, so let's clear, sorry, still getting used to this. Clear, close, move this back. Okay, so let's pull this pretty far up, like right here. And then we can continue to kind of make that sweep. It's going to be around, so let's do something like this. Maybe not this far. And then this right here will be the thickness of our prongs, right? So let's go to 1.2. Let's do something down to 2, and we'll do the bottom 2 as well. Okay, and one way you can measure, right, you need a little bit of prong nudge. But if we go to the front, so you can see this is going to be like a 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe a 5 millimeter. So let's do it for a 6 millimeter round. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And that's just a easier way to kind of eye it. It's not going to be exact. You know, you may need to do a little bit of adjusting, but let's pull this down a bit and up. Sorry, I'm sure you guys know I'm a bit of a perfectionist by now. All right. So something like this. And I can right click whenever I'm done. Okay, so let's go back to perspective. That way I can show you guys. Okay, now one thing you will see on our image, right, is this sharp split. So let's imagine if that was not there, right? If that wasn't there, what would this ring look like? So it would be just a tapered shank that came all the way up and was solid up here, kind of squarish, right? And you can imagine one side of it. So let's try to duplicate that. So to do that, you can profile place, select the curve. That's going to be my inside curve. And then I want to relate it to that outside curve. So I'm going to click the outside curve box and click my outside curve. Now, no matter where I pull this, it will never go outside of that outside curve, right? So let's choose a profile that's going to be square-ish. But this one has a dome top, right? So let's edit. So I can hit the profile editor up here, and I can just take this arc right here and just pull it down to be square-ish, right? And then I can go ahead and save it. We can type square-ish, and OK. And when I'm done, I can just hit select. Right. So now that we know we want a 6mm, this of course needs to be about 7 to give room for the nudge. We can always adjust this later and then come down here and put one. Obviously it tapers, and you can see from this image again that it's kind of a softer square down here. So let's choose number 2. And let's go down to about 4, maybe 3.5. And when I right click, I now have my basic layout. So now I can do a 2-rail sweep, inside, outside, top to bottom, right click. So you can see it gives me a pretty much mirror image of what this would look like, maybe a little bit wider up here, if it didn't have that cut, right? And I can adjust this. Let's turn mirrors and turn the bottom off. Okay, so I can right click, and then I can always come back, select this profile. If it's too wide, let's go to 6.5 and right click. So now we can do our stone. So let's select our stone, gem on ring rail. While my computer thinks. Let's bring them up to 0.5. So you can see I really just want them about 1 by 1, maybe a little too wide. Maybe 2, but we can always adjust because of the parametrics, right? Let's go to 6.4 and right click. All right, so we got one side. So now we can take this side, transform, mirror, and right click. Let's take our poly surfaces and we can go to tools and we can join them. All right, let's go to this. And now we can see kind of tension set. So the next thing we need to do is do the cuts. So realistically, you could, get you a curve, draw it out, do curve from to view, extrude it, Boolean. But again, let's not overcomplicate. They have a scallop cutter right here that you can run along the stone. Let's reduce it to 2. Okay, let's pull it in a bit. Keep hitting the wrong one. Let's angle it. Okay, so now we just need to turn it this way, right? So with this rotation, I can take it, angle it. Let's pull it down, pull it up, pull it up, pull it out. So you're probably thinking, well, that's a lot, rounder than what it looked like. So we can further refine it. So let's go to the profile editor. Now this one is not symmetrical, right? So what I did, right, was I just drew one. So I'm gonna turn my grid snaps on. Let's go to 0.25 and let's get an interp curve. So after I get that midpoint, I can turn them off. I don't necessarily need them. Something like that. And then I can mirror. I can select this one, delete. It will get a red real quick, but that's no bother. We can just close it end to end, select everything and join it. All right. Let's pull this up a bit. Oops, sorry. For some reason, it's not staying, but let's just do shift. I'm just going to turn these grid snaps off. I was trying to do it without it, but something right there. We can save this. Sorry, save it as sharp. Hit OK, hit check. Let's go select it. Sorry. Profile. Now we can do some adjusting, right? So I would like it to come a little bit further down. I still want this kind of easy transition. So let's change this to 15, which is the inside height. Hit enter. Outside height 15, enter. And that will kind of stretch it a bit. We can kick it out a bit more. And we can pull it down a bit. Just so you get that nice transition. Let's reduce the width just a bit. That looks good to me. So when you're done, right click. Okay. And what's left but to Boolean? So we can go to solids, Boolean difference, select Shank, select cutters and right click. And whenever you're done, you get something like this. If I right click, I can now use my cathedral and edit that to pull it out. Right click, I can edit this profile placer to reduce the width. And I can right click. So you can see we are pretty close. I mean, this one has a lot of mill grain and stuff on it, but it may be a little bit thinner and smaller of a stem, but I think you guys get the picture, right? So the only thing left would be to create that kind of trellis look. And I want to do a Q&A real quick. Let's see, poll. Add a question. It's going to be a surprise. All right. Let's save that. All right, guys, let's see. What command would you use to create the curve for the trellis sweep? Sorry, I kind of want to quiz you guys and use this cool new feature. So you guys can vote. See, we have one. Let's see if the other one. We got one more. Ah, there he is. Well, I would like you guys to know you definitely got it correct. Okay, so let's go ahead. We are going to extract an isocurve like so. Kind of angle it a bit and rerun it over here. Bring it down like this. And when you're done, you can right click. So now we are going to blend curve. So this one is going the correct direction, but the first curve is not. So we want to toggle and flip. We can bring this one up. Let's reduce some of this, put some blend amount. If I go to my front view, we can get the overall look of it, right? And then if I toggle join, all of that excess disappears, right? So I can right click. So let's go to perspective again. And you can see I now have that sweep or that curve for my sweep. So let's profile place. So again, we want to change the profile. So I'm going to hit the profile and we will get a square. And I want to bring it, not with that one. Let's bring it up a bit because I don't need it that far. Let's change the profile again because I had to rerun. Okay, you can go away now. Ooh, this computer, y'all. Let's try that one more time. Profile. Double click. Thank you. Okay, and then I want to put it about right here. Let's angle it. Let's reduce a bit. Let's get some height out of it. Let's go to about 0.8. Angle it just a tad. Pull it into my surface. Something like that. All right, if I go to wireframe, we can check it out. So I want to add one up here. And we can use the viewport handles to adjust as well. Let's go back to plastic. All right, now if I toggle auto sweep, we can see this, right? But if I just did this, right, and then I mirrored, it would just be directly on top of each other. So I need to add one about right here. And what this one will allow me to do is pull it in and pull it out on top of the other one, right? So I can right click whenever I get what I would like. I want to select this curve, this profile, and this profile. And I want to mirror. And what that's going to do is put them, because they are exactly, the shanks are exactly mirrored, right? So I can just mirror these without doing the center, or I can even do a profile placer, right? Select that curve. Let's pull one up here. Let's choose a profile. Let's flip it. Let's reduce it. And when I'm done, I can right click. So let's make this actually purple. And let's hide it real quick. Okay, so you can see I have 3 profiles again. Let's do a sweep 1. Oop. Keep doing that wrong. Curve, curve. So because I mirrored this profile and this curve, I'm having to hold Control and Shift, which is a sub-selection, to select individual pieces, right? So when this happens, it's no real issue, right? I can simply accept, come down here to Profile Place. Let's see if that works and flip it. Let's reduce the width. That looks about even, right? So let's pull it in a bit and right click. So the last thing to do would be to profile cap this end and then the bottom. So let's profile cap. Profile cap. Select these. Join them. Change him back to green. Bring back our purple. All right. Let's select our green, and then we want to do see, if I just did a simple mirror over the top, it would just keep this this raised one on this side as well. But I want it to be a rotate with copy. That way this raised one ends up on this prong right here, right? So we can select these greens. Let's go to mirror under the transform mirror. So currently it's mirroring over this way. I need to go X and Y so you can see, and right click. And then we can change everything green. And there we go. Now, what's cool about this one, like I said, let's say, I don't know, you got a smaller or larger stone, right? You can reduce this, right click, and let's close this. And there's a few ways we can do that. We can do it with the cathedral if we need to pull it closer. Everything is parametric because we mirrored. And then let's say they don't want it as wide, right? So we can come down here to profile place. There we go. And we can right click, fully parametric, everything comes across. So I'm just going to select all my profiles and put them on my gray. It's never a good idea to delete all of these curves. Just put them to gray and hide them. And if we look at this, right, this one may have a little more height. So if you wanted to do that, we can edit, just bring up the cathedral, right click. Let's edit the stone, bring him up, and right click. Now there is a way to make the top parametric and relate it to the stone. Maybe we can do that in another video, but this is pretty flexible, all things considered. The last thing to do, obviously just do the extract ISO curve. So let's do that. Under curve, we can extract ISO curve, select, come on computer. All right, and then we can angle. Let's do 92, 93. $94. So now that I have my curve, I can go do gem on curve. Let's do 1.5. Let's also relate the culettes to this surface. To do that, I want to use the target object up at the box. You can select that. Let's select our object. And the culettes will now follow it. Let's taper the end. Let's bring the end down a bit because you don't want this culet of the milli to interrupt the setting of the center. So let's go down and taper. I'm gonna increase until we get one more stone like that. And we can right click. Let's get our channel cut. Select your stones under cutters, go to channel cut. And let's go up. Let's choose the flat. So I want to de-toggle, if that's a word, the mirror setting up here. I want to do a sharp up at the top. So let's do sharp. Let's extend just to give it a little bit of. Let's increase the width by 1. Pick it up. We will taper the end. So tapering the end. Yeah. Show you guys what tapering the end does. You see the end, it will make it nice and soft, if you will. Let's pull this one up. Let's taper the start. Bring back our green. Maybe a little less on here. Like that. And that one should be good. All right, and we can just accept when we're good. Let's select our cutters and our stones. Of course, we will mirror 4 ways. So let's toggle Y, but also toggle X. And then we want to toggle the multi. Right click. And we can Boolean now. So solids, Boolean difference, green with orange. There we go. Right click. I would probably, if I would do it again, put these stones a little bit deeper into the surface. They're kind of on the edge. But let's go to settings. We're going to go to prongs, prong placer. I want to do just one prong up at the top. So just to go through here real quick, you can choose the end look, right? So if you want to look like this, you can. If you want it the other way, you can. Or if you want 1 and 1, you can. Let's see if one and 2. Let's pick up the height. When you're done, you can right click. Again, we need to take these prongs, mirror 4 ways. So you want to toggle X, Y, multi, and right click. There you go. And I mean, the last thing to do would be to flow the mill grain and then, flow stones right here, which doing the the same exact way we did it right here by extracting or even duplicating this edge, right? We have dupe edge right here, which will duplicate any single edge into a curve. And then you would flow stones on it, Boolean, prong place, voila. All right. Ted said, gymlist on curve. At some point, can you go over this command? Yeah, gymlist on curve, it's right here. For those that don't know, you have to select a curve. It will populate whenever my computer, and then you add, whichever, like let's say you want a 2 millimeter tapering to a 1 millimeter, right? Well, you need to put every stone size you want in the order you want them. You need to focus it at a surface. Reduce this. Bring your start position up. And then you can add stones, right? Let's say you want around 1.2, save to gem list. Let's say you want a princess, 1.4, add to gem list. And then you can select each individual stone and scale if you want. You can move them if you want. Then let's say you need to add more stones, right? You can hit the plus, choose your stone size. And as you go through them, right, it'll continually add more and more. So is that what you were talking about? So I guess I'm just going to hit escape to cancel this. I'll finish this real quick just so we can put it on YouTube. I was having trouble moving the first stone. Be sure you take your start position and move it all the way to the end. Let's gem on curve. Let's pull the position. Reduce the size. Maybe a little bit smaller. Right click, and then for this curve, let's duplicate edge, select our edge and right click, and then we can select this curve once more. I could probably do a gem on surface as well. Let's run gem on curve. Let's target at this. And we're not going to go all the way up. We're just going to go about here. Let's reduce the size to 0.8. And then we can select that curve one more time, gem on curve, and let's finish the side. Hey, Ted, thanks for joining. Take it easy. If you have any questions, let me know. You're welcome. Let's target this sweep again. To reduce to 0.8. Try and fit one more in here. There we go. And right click. Oh no. All right. Then we can channel cut with our stones. Do the same for each of these. And one thing I want to do right now, because my computer is hurting, select everything, create a job bag. And full save. File successfully saved. And then I can hide my green. Let's select this, this, this without that. And let's do a rotate mirror. So transform, mirror. There we go. Right click. Bring our green back and just Boolean, right? So solids, Boolean. Let me make sure it's not going through right here. Nope, should be good. Green, right click, orange, right click. Once it's done, let's go to plastic. Or let's right click, then go to plastic. One more time, select the stones and prong place all of them. So these I need to adjust. Let's reduce the diameter because they're only 0.8 stones. So you don't want some big 0.5 millimeter prong, so let's go to 0.3. About 3.5. I wouldn't go any smaller than that. Let's take some of the nudge out. Oh. Edit. Go to the end. Select these. Turn on enable in prong control. And we want to take the diameter out. Turn off the in thickness override, right click, and do it all over again. Good thing is we don't have to do it so many times. We can just rotate with copy. Bring the thickness down. Decrease the nudge. Scroll up. Go to the End tab. First drop down, we want to select the two ends. Let's turn in thickness override off. End prong control. Right click. One more, guys, bear with me. I'll just select the prongs and right click to rerun the same command. And let's reduce this. Whoa, not so much. One more time. It's kind of getting redundant here, right? Let's turn in thickness override. Let's turn in prong controls. Diameter 0.35, enter. And I probably should have extended the channel on this one, but I think you guys get the picture. There we go. Select our prongs. And the very last command is going to be the rotate with copy under mirror. Let's turn X and Y on and right click. And there we go. So thank you for stopping by. If you have any questions, let me know. These webinars are every Wednesday, so please go re-register if you can. If you guys need to contact us anyway, shoot us an email, info@gemvision.com. Again, my name is Bo, and I will see you next time. Thanks.